Alright, continuing with the new verb, we'll be learning a new tip, and the tip is if a verb has E, most of the times it changes to I and it changes the stem of the verb, which means the second and the third person singular gets changed. Let's find out. The verb is sprechen, which means to speak. That means we'll remove the en and add the endings. Let's do it. So ich spreche. Perfect. Du, now we'll not say spreckst. As I mentioned, the E changes to I. So instead of spreckst, we'll say du sprichst. So the stem changes. And since the stem changes, it will also affect the third person singular, like we learned in the last verb. RZS, it will not be sprecht, it will be exactly spricht. Fantastic, yes? Now we'll get back to normal, and it will be wir sprechen, the infinitive form. And it'll again be ihr sprecht, yes, we'll be using the E again, and then sie, sie sprechen. Fantastic, yes? Okay, this also happens to be with the verb helfen, which means to give help to somebody, like we learned earlier, a dative verb, yes? So ich helfe, du, it will not be helfst, E will change into I, hilfst, RZS hilft, wir helfen, ihr helft. Yes, we get back the E, sie, sie, helfen. Perfect. Similarly, it's with treffen. Yes, the E changes to I. It becomes ich treffe. It will not be du treffst. It will be du. Exactly. Triffst. RZS trifft. Wir treffen. Ihr trefft. We get back the E, sie, sie, treffen. Wunderbar. Perfect. Wunderbar, wunderbar means wonderful. Some words I'm used to speaking in German. Yes. Okay. Geben, very important verb. It's also an original dative verb. Who gives to whom what? Yes, has three cases. Geben is to give. Ich gebe, it will not be du gebst, it will be du gibst. RZS gibt. Wir geben, ihr gebt, we get the E back. Sie, sie, geben. Fantastic. Let's keep moving and keep the momentum going. Nehmen as well, a very important verb to take, opposite of give. And it's also like ich nehme, but there is a catch. In this second verb, in the second form, singular, it will not be named. It will be, of course, we'll change the E to I, nim, but we'll add instead of H and M here. Yeah, so instead of the H, we get a M. We just need to remember that. It's just a one-off exception. Yes, so ich nehme, du nimmst. RZS nimmt. Wir nehmen, ihr, we get the E back, nehmt, sie, sie, nehmen, which means I take, you take, he, she, it takes, we take, you all take, they take, and you take formal. Perfect. We have the verb essen. Now here the verb itself begins with an E, so we'll change it. Let's see how it goes. Ich esse, du, we'll not say est, but we'll say, change the E to I, ist, and it will also look the same in third person. Ist. Why is it that? Because the normal verb says essen, and when we added the st, we didn't add the s, because if we would have, it would have looked like this. Ist. That is kind of obsolete, so we keep it just to two s's, and that's why it looks the same in third person. Yeah. Du isst, RZS ist. We'll get back to normal. Wir essen, ihr esst. We get the E back. Sie, sie, essen. Okay. Now we'll move forward and we'll learn a new tip. In some verbs, not all verbs, I emphasize, in some verbs, not all verbs, we just need to learn which, the A changes to, in English, if I say A, in German, I should be saying A. A changes to A umlaut, which is A. Yes, A changes to A umlaut, and the sound of A umlaut is A. So let's see how it changes the stem. Ich fahre. It will not be du fast. It will be du fährst. Yes, du fährst. The H in German isn't that strong. We don't pronounce it. We don't say fährst. It's fährst. Yes, and R is pronounced like er. So it comes to be fährst. Du fährst, RZS fährt. Yes, perfect. Then we'll get back to normal. Wir fahren, ihr fahrt, sie, sie fahren. So we saw the A changing to A umlaut. Similarly applies for the verb schlafen, which means to sleep. Ich schlafe, du schlafst. Nein, that'll be wrong. We'll need to change A to A umlaut. Du schläfst. Perfect. Sie schläft. Wir schlafen. Ihr schlaft. Sie, schlafen. So as long as the stem keeps changing, it'll only be affecting the second and third person, like we talked before. Yes? Moving forward, let's see which verb we have. We have waschen, which is to wash. Again, it has a, which will change to a. Ich wasche, du wäschst. Sie wäscht. Yes, this is a little typical to pronounce. We'll say du wäschst. Yes, and sie wäscht. Wir waschen, ihr wascht, sie, sie waschen. Fantastic. Yes. Okay. Now we are moving forward. Be with me. We are coming to a very important verb, and the next tip is talking about irregular verbs. As long as of now, we were dealing with regular verbs with a couple of changes, but now we'll be dealing with irregular verbs, which means the rules of conjugating the verb will not apply here. That means the endings which we learned here will not work. We'll not use them. We'll directly learn to conjugate the verb. And the important verb we are doing is sein. What is the meaning of sein? To be. Like in English, I am, you are, he, she, it is, we are, you all are, they are. The most fundamental verb, to be. And how does it look like? In its infinitive form, it looks like sein. This is the infinitive form, and it's irregular. That's why it also doesn't end with en. It's one of those verbs. And let's see how we conjugate. Ich bin. So you see complete change. Du bist, sie ist. Wir sind, ihr seid, sie, sie sind. So what is the meaning? I am, you are, he, she, it is. We are, you all are, they are, and you are formal. Yes? I'll repeat. Ich bin, du bist, sie, ist. Wir sind, ihr seid, sie, sie sind. I need you to remember this. Very important verb. And next in line is a similar irregular verb, which is to become, werden. And I become, ich werde. You become, du wirst. As before, the E changes to I, so that much helps, yes. And it becomes wirst. And RZS, here is a little change as well. RZS, werd. He, she, it becomes. Yes. Then again, we come back to normal. Wir werden, ihr werdet, sie, sie werden. Perfect. So it's a little irregular, especially in third person. We do not say, like we used to add the T normally, we used to say werd. That will be wrong. It's werd. That's what makes this verb irregular as well. Okay. Now, since we're doing verbs, let's take it all the way. Some verbs in German are like helping verbs. Even in English, we have helping verbs like I can, I should, I must. Why are they helping verbs? Never use them alone. You use them with another verb. I can do this, I must go, I should leave. Yes. So I do this and I go and I leave. These are supporting verbs. Yes. And basically in German as well, these are the helping verbs which we'll be doing. We'll not be doing all of them today. We'll just look at one of them. Now, mögen is sometimes also used like a helping verb, which means to like. Yes. When we are doing a helping verb, basically we need to remember one little rule, that the endings change a little. That means there is no E here, there is no T here. In fact, the first person and third person look the same, and the stem completely changes. Yes, there is no longer mögen here, it becomes mag. Ich mag, du magst, sie, es mag. Wir mögen, ihr mögt, sie, sie mögen. Yes, I like, you like, he, she, it likes. We like, you all like, they like, and you like formal. Why is it a helping verb? Because at times you can use it with another verb. I like to eat, like to dance, like to travel, I like to paint, whatever you want to say. So you see there is a verb at the end of the sentence, yeah, which we'll be learning in detail. So this is just a one-off rule for the modal, for the helping verbs, that the conjugation differs a bit. Now, if we move forward, we'll be seeing there are some passive verbs in German as well. That means the verb which do not have direct action going on. It's indirect action. It's like a passive verb. For example, normally in German, if you want to say I like a pizza, you'll use the verb we just learned a moment back, which is mögen. I like pizza. You could say ich mag Pizza, and it sounds just like in English. I like pizza. Yes? Okay, now if you want to say the same sentence a little differently in German, we could rather say pizza is like from me. Yes, this is the passive form. Instead of I like pizza, pizza is like from me. So there is a verb in German called Giffallen, which means to be liked from somebody. To be liked from somebody. So it's like ich gefalle, I'm liked by someone. Du gefällst, you are liked by someone. Sie, es gefällt, he, she, it is liked by someone. Wir gefallen, we are liked by someone. Ihr gefällt, you all are liked by someone. Sie gefallen and sie gefallen, they are liked by someone. You are liked by someone. Formal. Yes. So we mostly use it in terms of food. Entschuldigung, not food. I should have said things. It's mostly used in context of things. For example, pizza is liked by me. Pizza is feminine, so I'll say like sie or pizza gefällt. What is from me? From me is a dative question. Yes, from me means like dative. So it'll be pizza gefällt. If you people can recall, what's the dative personal pronoun? Yes, for me it's mir. Pizza gefällt mir. So we learned this as well in detail when we are making sentences, that these are the passive verbs. For example, a good example of a passive verb is regnen, to rain. Now you cannot say I rain, you cannot say you rain, you can only say it rains. Yes, so it's like es regnet. Yes, similarly schneien, you can't say I snow, you snow, it doesn't make sense. You'll say es schneit, it snows. Yes, and in the last I'll show you some verbs which are called verbs which have two parts. Yes, that's the separable verbs in German. We'll do them separately when the time comes. This is just to introduce you. Like the verb to invite, it's made up of einladen, in which laden is the main verb, ein is just a prefix which you kind of put at the end of the sentence. For example, we will conjugate the verb laden and we'll put ein at the end. For example, I invite, ich lade ein. Yes, so we conjugate laden, we remove the en, add a e, just like we learned. Yes, du, now there is a a here. As we learned, it changes to umlaut. A umlaut, that's a, so du lädst ein. Perfect. And since the stem changed, it will also be applicable for third person. RCS lädt ein. Perfect. Then we'll get back to normal. Wir laden, ihr ladt, no more umlaut, ladt. Sie, sie laden. We invite, you all invite, they invite, and you invite. Formal. Perfect. And one last verb we'll look here, which is anrufen. Again, a separable verb. That means an is the prefix, rufen is the main verb, and we'll conjugate the main verb rufen. It means to call somebody. Ich rufe, du rufst, sie, es ruft, and it'll be ich rufe an, du rufst an, es ruft an, wir rufen an, ihr ruft an, sie, sie ruft an. Yeah, so the prefix goes in the end. Fantastic. So these are the ways in which you could conjugate a verb in German. And if you can remember some of the rules we learned, you can of course conjugate any verb in German whatsoever. This is John Burling signing off. See you in the next lesson.